Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Val Talks Pets. On this episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with Paul Spindler, owner of Blends for Life cat and dog supplements. Now, before I do, I'd just like to apologize for my voice. At least I didn't sound like this when I interviewed Paul. But Blends for Life is a fully Canadian company and Paul's dream and passion. These supplements are comprehensive and easy to use. So let's get to it and chat with Paul Spindler of Blends for Life. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Val Talks Pets, the forum for pet parents and enthusiasts alike. Having been in the pet industry for over 10 years now, I'm going to share with you issues and questions that arise as I work with pet parents on a day-to-day basis. I am not a veterinarian, but I do have certifications in canine, feline, small animal, fish and herptile, and avian health and nutrition from the University of California, Davis Extension. Hi, Paul, and welcome to Val Talks Pets.
Hi, Val. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to have you on the show because I'm really excited to talk to you because your company is True North, strong and free Canadian and natural supplements. So that is a real interest of mine. I really, really like that whole field. So I'm going to get you to talk to us about Blends for Life. But just to sort of preface everything, Blends for Life, you have an amazing array of natural supplements for dogs and cats that target so many things. I've got all of your products sitting here in front of me as well. So I'm wondering if we could begin with how the company sort of came into existence and how you actually came to be on board with this whole thing.
Sure. Yeah. I've always loved animals, even from a child. So I always grew up with dogs and cats. And on my mom's side of the family, they were farmers, and I always spent lots of time out at the farm. So I've always been around animals and intrigued by them. And when I finished college, I went right into selling pet products right from the very beginning in my 20s.
Oh,
And
really?
yes.
What kind of products were they? Like
So
food or?
yeah, so
Oh,
everything from food in the grocery side of the business to then I got into the pet side of the business by I worked for 17 years with Hill's Science Diet.
oh.
And yeah, so I got some of my education from them. They have a science and technology center down in Topeka, and
Hmm.
they send every employee down there to learn about nutrition. And there's a courses you take and you get your certification from them on pet nutrition.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have been working with multiple different pet companies, but for me, I always had a passion about pet nutrition and simple and limited ingredients, and wanted to really help animals live a healthy and have longevity in dogs and cats.
Hmm.
So I wasn't getting it anywhere in other companies. So I wanted to start my own company, and I jumped ship on June 1st, 2012, and I launched Live Well Pets. And that's how basically Live Well Pets and Blends for Life, our products, kind of got started.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so that's really how I got into and got the company started, was all on my own.
So just you, and you started figuring you would do natural supplements and treats and that kind of thing, and you just went.
Correct.
But how how would you even? I don't, to me, I'm thinking, how do you even begin that? Because how would you even think about how do I get natural supplements and the ones that I want to do and how I want to do it? Because it comes in so many forms from liquid, powders, you name it. And wow, that must have been overwhelming in some ways, unless you had a vision.
I had a vision.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
I had a vision. And for me, it wasn't a lot of schooling for in the education part of holistic and natural and simple ingredients. It was book learning on my own
Mm-hmm.
and trial and error on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and with people that just really intrigued me, like Dr. K, who is a naturopath out of Toronto, who sells different herbs on the human side.
Hmm.
And learning from her, I read her book, and that kind of is what has how it led to me getting into simple ingredients treats, which were things like, and it was very new to the industry, chicken breast, duck feet, chicken feet,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we dehydrated them.
Oh.
So that was the first start of single ingredient products. And when I launched that in the marketplace in 2012, it was at a trade show. And
Hmm.
I actually was 1 month into business, and we won Booth of the Year.
Oh,
And I sold over 750 cases of my product in 8 hours at the
what?
show.
Oh
Yes.
my God. You must have been like absolutely like blown away, thinking,
I,
oh my gosh.
You've got it. I was blown away, but first thing came to me, I've got something going here. I've got
Hmm.
something right with the limited ingredients.
Yeah.
So that's what started the treats. And then going along with the treats, I would be out selling and growing like crazy. And I
Hmm.
had a lot of people asking about different supplements, different herbs, single ingredients. And
Hmm.
then that just intrigued me that what about a second component of my company of single ingredient treats along with supplements? So that's the researching, the reading,
Hmm.
and going along that way to kind of build my knowledge on different herbs and how powerful they are and how popular they are in other countries, but how they're not here and not known here, but they're starting to get known here.
Yeah, there's definitely I was looking at I did an episode on the up and coming 2025 trends basically and holistic approaches and care, etc. for animals is top on the list. And it's about time, you know. I mean, the
Yes.
fact that there's even an embracing on the medical side of things of probiotics finally is like, oh, okay, we're actually finally getting this door open
Yes.
to seeing that we can use these things for our pets and they can do so many things without having to go to some of the medical pharmaceuticals. I mean, there's definitely, we know we have to get to the vet sometimes, but there's things that we can do in the holistic side with the supplements that are amazing.
And that, yeah, and that's correct. And it, when it started with me and my previous dog, Bella, she had a lot of yeast,
Mm,
black duck in her ears,
yep.
gnawing on her paws and all that.
Yep.
And I was happened to be going and picking up some stuff from Dr. K at her place in Toronto. And
Hmm.
then we just got going in a conversation, and she said, "Oh my goodness, you should just feed your dog olive leaf."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Really?"
Yep.
And sure enough, went back home, fed olive leaf to her. And after 2 weeks, it completely cleared up. Her ears cleared up. She stopped gnawing on her paws and everything.
Yep.
And that's what opened up my eyes that I didn't have to go and spend hundreds or lots of money and do anything more evasive than just being
Hmm.
something natural like a herb.
Yeah, and you know what? I have been, telling people about olive leaf for years, and you know, it's especially when you say, "Well, do their ears stink? Do they have that kind of?" Yes, and I've been getting this medication from the vet. I put it in their ears. It doesn't really do anything, and then it's fine for about a week, and then it comes back. It's because you're not dealing with what's causing it. And the
Correct.
cause is there's an elevation of yeast in this dog's system.
Correct.
And this is
Yes.
what we need to deal with. And olive leaf powder, olive leaf can do amazing with yeast. When I saw that you had olive leaf, I'm like, oh my goodness, we are in the same choir here. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And and as you said, there is a single ingredient, but in every one of the herbs, I have some that are single, but I have a
Mm.
lot that we have created formulas for specific needs. And
Mm.
in these herbs, they always have a primary benefit, and then they'll have secondary and third. So,
Mhm.
you know, in us that we usually will pick what is the prime for what it will do for the
Mhm.
pet, and that's what the formula's for. But then we always have a little blurb on the bottom about it that it can help with the immune system and other things it can do. But the prime case is that it'll help with yeast and balance, just using that as an example.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. And because I'm looking at some of your formulas, just we should talk about some of the formulas. But I'm wondering about like so is it you that actually creates the formulas, or did you pull somebody on board that had a background in this?
I created them
You created.
through
Oh wow.
Well, when I say created them, I did create them, and I would put the initial formula that I felt were the best herbs
Mm-hmm.
from my all my research that I have done, and then I would talk to Dr. K,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. K would always go, "Ah, you selected the right ones," or she may say, "Pull this one out, add horsetail or whatever into it." And then once that's completed, then the next step is, which really I wanted to talk to you about too, is that,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, natural supplements, holistic is going to be one of the fastest growing segments in the pet industry for the next 5 to 10 years plus.
Easy.
And what's happened though is we've got a lot of players out there that maybe in their backyard, in the garage, and they're throwing stuff
Mm.
together and they're throwing it out there in the marketplace. And I've been in it long enough, almost 14 years now, that I went through the transition of when there's been several health problems and things that have happened with different supplements that Health Canada stepped in
Oh
and
yeah.
said, we got to regulate this. We've got to monitor this
Mm-hmm.
so we can protect our animals. And so I went through that change of I could just throw stuff together and throw it out in the market to now Health Canada is involved that
Mm-hmm.
once I've created that, then I've got to give my formula and my label and what I want to say to them. And it goes
Oh,
through its due diligence of they check exactly where you're sourcing your ingredients to
okay.
make sure they're good quality and approved.
Mm-hmm.
Your formula's approved, your feeding guides get approved, and everything that's on your label, what you can say and can't say, all gets approved by Health Canada now. And if you are doing it correctly, which we do in our company, every product we will not launch until it has all of its due diligence done, even through which we'll talk further on the University of Guelph. We use them as a third their lab, and there's a natural path that is there also.
Wow.
And so where this does goes now is in Canada since 2017, it's
Mm-hmm.
illegal to sell pet supplements if it does not have its approval from Health Canada and gets its veterinary health product number, which is an NN number, which is NN dot, and then it's usually a number, letter,
Yep.
and that has to be on every supplement to actually be legal to be sold in Canada.
Very interesting. I'm so glad you went through that because I know you have your numbers. It's right on the front of your bottles. So I'm glad that you explained that because that's really important because you're right. You don't, there may be a lot of players out there and we got to make sure that these are Health Canada approved. It's surprising how many times people will ask you for something and, well, just as an example, people will ask a lot of times for a CBD oil and I'm like, actually, pet is not actually allowed to sell it. And they go, but they sell it at so and so place. And I'm like, well, all I can tell you is they're rolling the dice because you're not allowed to. It's not approved by Health Canada for pets in this forum.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
and you're correct. I've got a strong relationship with Health Canada and work closely with them.
Hmm.
And CBD is one that I like.
Hmm.
It is one that I've used it personally and I've seen some good improvements. I have arthritis really bad. And I've been working with this company and we've been waiting to get, will Health Canada allow us to be able to launch this? But it is
Hmm.
really come down to they're not going to allow it. It will most likely stay in the vet channel, because
Mm.
most of it still has to come down with someone overdosing on it, and it's a
Um,
pretty serious product that that's why it's going to most likely stay in the vet channel.
that makes sense. So can you actually get CBD through the vet? I never even thought of that.
That I do not know.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
there. Now
Me
there's
neither.
yeah, more and more vets are starting, the younger ones, to get some holistic background on them, and we are getting a few people that will come back and go, I took your milk thistle in.
Mm,
My dog has a liver issue, and
yeah,
he said that's all you need, ma'am, is that milk
it's
thistle
amazing.
will, and it worked. So we have some vets that are supporting it.
Yeah, it's coming along. I mean, and one of the things I've always said is, you have to pick the vet that works, that resonates with you. And depending on what type of person you are, like for me, if I mention to my veterinarian, well, you know what? I think I'm going to be doing, dandelion and I'm going to, and if they roll their eyes at me, we're not the partnership that's going to work. So I need
Yeah.
another vet that's going to go, oh, okay, well, let's see how that works. He may not know everything about that, but he's not going to think I'm nuts, and and then we'll find out what happens, and that's okay, as long as they're
Yeah.
open, right?
Yes,
As long as they're open.
exactly.
That's the thing. That's a really yeah, that's it's super important. So you're creating your own, formulas, which is and you're still doing that, or did you
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
we
so was
have about 3 that are in the works right now, and again,
mhm.
from the initial start of the formula to it actually launching into the marketplace, it's about a year and a half
Oh,
that
wow.
we go through in our due diligence. We do testing on some dogs and cats,
Mhm.
and then, it can take 3, 4, 5 months to go through the process with Health Canada. Plus, there is dollars involved too. It's about almost $1,500 per supplement by
Really?
the time you get the approval. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yes.
Mm,
And again, when you talk about vets too, it's like I have a really good vet myself that they don't sell a lot of natural supplements
mhm,
in their clinic. But for an example, my dog, this is the second year they asked, do you want to buy their product and do it? And I said, no, I use a natural herbal, our Nature Shield. And
mhm.
but this year they said, what is that? I'm getting
Oh,
more and more consumers asking me for something natural. So then I just went through the product, the Kwanzaa bark, neem leaf,
wow.
and spirulina, how it creates an oil on the skin. It creates the blood to be bitter. And when a tick lands on the dog or cat,
Mhm,
it will move around. It usually doesn't like the smell of the little bit of garlic that's in there, and they jump off. But if they're aggressive and they dig in and actually take a bite in of the blood, then the
mhm.
blood is bitter through the Kwanzaa and the neem leaf. It backs out and it jumps off. And we've been selling this product for this is its fourth year, and it's one of our number one selling supplements, along with the bee pollen, over the
Mm,
"Are You Ready for the Outdoors" campaign that we do for people from March till about November, December, when
mm.
fleas and ticks and mosquitoes are prime. And again, you only have to, it's a little scoop on the food, 1 week a month, and that's all you have to do, and that'll deter fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes for the season of your dog and cats.
Well, I have Tundra on it right now. I started him on it, so he's getting his second month's dose right now. He's based on the what the bottle said, he's a bigger dog, so he gets like a teaspoon. And I have to admit, I almost made the mistake of not realizing that I was only supposed to do it 1 week at a time and then stop. Thank goodness the other half went, hey, we'll only do this for a week. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, stop doing it. He said 7 days, but he's back on now. He's had one tick that I've removed, and then two that I've taken off his face crawling. They're tiny, tiny. So they just
Okay.
come inside and they're on it. You see, they're looking for somewhere to go, and I was able to pull that off. But that's it. So, but this I've got him on this because he reacts. I cannot do any kind of topicals or anything like that. The reaction is terrible, just
Yes.
horrible. Actually, a woman from that does Advantix, she said that sometimes the dogs feel this feeling like when you're going to the dentist and they're putting in the freezing, you get that feeling. She says some dogs feel that when you put the topical on them. And I said, I don't know if it's that because he actually goes into horrible panting. His eyes dilate really badly and he walks around in circles and he can't, and he's just panting. I think he's going to have a heart attack. So we're
Yes.
like, no, we can't do this. Like, you can't do this. So I've got him
Yes.
on this now. He's
Well,
on the second month.
you brought up a great point because
Yeah.
fleas and ticks are really bad, and we're just not
Mhm.
getting the winters that we used to have. So
Exactly.
they're just continuing. So even in what you mentioned, Nature's Shield, but we also have diatomaceous earth.
Yep.
And I say, and a lot of people, because we'll get phone calls exactly like you. Hey, it worked. We were in the house and we saw the tick and it jumped off and it landed on my husband. So
Yeah.
my old brain is going, okay. So if you did the light dusting of the underbelly and the sides and that with the diatomaceous earth on top of that,
Mhm.
when the tick lands and it doesn't like the smell and the bitter of the
Mhm.
blood, when they move around, then it's like a powder to us, but to small insects, it's like little shards and it'll
Yeah.
cut their outer skin or their outer shell and they dehydrate and they die.
Yeah.
And that way, now you've got double protection. So that's what I
Okay.
recommend in a lot, because my dog does a lot of trails and we walk.
Yeah.
So I'll do a combination. And back to the diatomaceous earth, a lot of people think you got to put a lot on and you don't.
Okay.
And you don't have to reapply it. Even if you walked your dog and it rained a little bit,
Mhm.
that will not wash it away. You only have to reapply it about every 2 or 3 weeks. Or if they go for a swim,
Mm.
or if they have a groom, then there would be a more of a major washout. Then you'd want to
That
reapply
makes
it.
sense. I'm gonna put some on his face then because I do have
Yeah,
diatomaceous earth because I'll actually use it outside sometimes on ants and and anything with an ectoskeleton, right? And I actually gave
yeah.
it to him internally once because I caught him drinking out of a pail of water that had little things swimming in it. So, oh no, some kind of worms or something in there. So I gave it to him in his food just in case he was getting some worms from that. So yeah. So where do you actually like source your ingredients from? Because you've got lots of stuff going on here.
Well,
You mentioned
we
some of these things. So
that's correct. Yeah, we source first Canada,
yep.
but obviously with a lot of herbs, there's prime countries where they're grown more than just Canada. So we always source Canada. Secondary, we look to the US, and then we go to Europe and South America.
Hmm.
So really, that's where, and India obviously is a big country with a lot of different herbs.
Mm,
The biggest component to that is the certifications and the testing you get from those companies that we import from.
mm,
And then on top of that, Health Canada and obviously CBSA at Canada's borders, they're checking on these products to make sure everything is legit. So
wow.
it's going through multiple tests that way. And
Hmm.
then periodically, we have it tested at the University of Guelph at the lab. We'll have products tested. And so far in our years that we've been doing, we've never had to turn back an ingredient. So,
So how did you know who to source from? Like if you started this all on your own and you were looking for some of your ingredients, let's pull out some of the things that are in some of your products. Like how did you know where to go for some of these things? Like if you're looking for horsetail or turkey tail or something like that. Where did you go?
well, to start with Dr. K, she
Okay.
is in Toronto and she is Indian. So
Okay.
she from India. So she knows where a lot of the sourcing and where to
Oh.
source from. So it's usually just mentors or people you're talking to
Oh.
that keeps the ball rolling. It's just like mushrooms, for an example. Mushrooms
Yeah.
are getting very, very popular.
Mm.
In Canada, there wasn't many companies growing all the popular variety. Well, we've got a great new company out of Niagara Falls area,
Oh.
and they are growing your turkey tails, your shaga, your reishi, and we're now can source all of the different types of mushrooms right down the road in Ontario now.
Oh, that's amazing. Well,
So
that's amazing.
so again, it's the biggest component for us in our ingredients is to make sure on all of ours, we got approved by Health Canada that we're human grade. So
Mm,
everything of our products are, as you can see, tested not just for pet, but for human, which
mhm.
is even higher. And that is we're able to put that logo on our supplements itself. So
Human grade. Yeah, that's really important.
that's
I
correct.
remember one time reading something about when you're doing diatomaceous earth in particular, it should always be human grade.
Correct.
Yeah, I did read that as well. So that's
Because it's internal and it's external. So it
mhm,
can do internal and kill parasites. It's like a
mhm.
detox and it can actually kill worms like ringworm and
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's why I gave him that when he drank that water because the little worms that were in it, and I didn't know what they were. So I figure I better safe than sorry,
that's right.
you know? That's it. So,
And another, oh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing too about supplements that I
Mhm,
really notice is that when I'm out there in the marketplace and at shows, people are very store owners, store staff, and
mhm.
even the consumers. They can be kind of scared of the section because they're almost overwhelmed.
Yeah, I can see that.
So us as a company, we want to make it easier and for them to approach the section and to be able to understand and need as little information as they need to know they're selecting the right natural supplement for their dog or cat. Or
Mhm,
if they want to really dive deep into it, then we provide them right down to each of the ingredients and what they're for and what they're used. So we created on our supplements an icon. So we have
mhm,
icons on all of our supplements. We have 12 icons
mhm.
and we broke them into three categories
Yeah, I
of
wanna talk to you about this. Yeah, go ahead with the
Ye
categories. That's interesting.
yeah. So we broke them into blends for everyday health.
Yep.
So you'll have things like essential vitamins. So give an example, you'll have like a raw feeder and they may be looking, I want to make sure I'm getting all the vitamins
Mhm,
and minerals. So they'll add like our garden of greens or our C Vita and or the omega-3 onto it. So those are ones that you can feed daily and they're
mhm,
just like a multivitamin that are going to just help complete the diet.
right?
And then you've got your immune support. So you've got there again your mushroom and your garden of greens and turmeric, and all them fall into the immune. Again, they're products that can be given daily. So for everyday use, just to help keep the immune system boosted.
Mhm, yep.
And then you've got your skin and coat. So you've got several products for the skin and coat, and then you've got just lifestyle. So we call it lifestyle, like our senior vitality. So
Yeah.
that's just to help with dogs that are aging, and we can get into situations where there might be some memory loss or
Mm.
stresses come
Oh,
because
okay.
maybe they're not hearing as well. So we have products in there to calm them and to help with brain function and all to that as they're aging.
That's
Yeah,
nice. So it's not just like plain, "Oh, this is, joint and health support." It's a lot more than that.
that's
That's
correct.
really
Yes.
good to know. Mhm.
Yeah, and then you've got your pre and probiotics,
Yep.
which are a real biggie nowadays. So those are kind of like your everyday.
Mhm.
And then our next category, we call it predictable events.
Yeah.
So we call them different campaigns. So we're trying to get to the consumer so they know about ahead of time. So right now we've got, are you ready for the outdoors? So you're going to have things like Nature's Shield,
Yep.
pest protection. You're going to have bee pollen, seasonal allergies, because we're into that season now.
Yeah.
And then you've got your calming, which you've got your Canada fireworks, you got thunderstorms that are
True.
starting
Yeah.
and that's a product that I use amazing on my own dog's got a lot of anxiety.
Oh,
And to
really?
give you an example on fireworks, as soon as if I give her nothing and a fireworks goes off,
Mhm.
she'll be laying nicely on the carpet with us. And next thing you know, she jumps up and starts to pace. And
Mhm.
then I look at her and now she's starting to breathe heavy.
Yeah.
Then she runs downstairs. She'll go under the bed. She comes back up panicking
Mm.
and then the fireworks keep going off. But then if we 2 hours, or ideally, if you do it 24 hours before, give the calming dream, then you just add it to the food. And
Mhm.
then what this does is it just calms them with the different herbs that are in there. So when the fireworks go off, my dog doesn't get up. She lifts her head up and knows something's going on, but
Mhm.
she doesn't pace.
Mm.
She's not panting and getting her heart racing, which isn't
Yeah.
good. And she knows something's going on. She wants to stay close to us, but she's not doing all those other things that are hard on her body of the
Yeah.
heart racing and panicking.
Yeah.
So that's how that product works.
That's amazing. So that would be great for people traveling,
Correct.
going to the vet, especially
Yeah,
since you know you're going to the vet because you have your appointment, so you can do it 24 hours in advance, right? Mhm.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, and then
Yeah.
yeah, so the calming dream, and you've got your next one is your
S-
common problems.
Yeah.
That's
Common problem.
interesting.
Yeah. So they're just common problems that happen out there. Like we talked about olive leaf with the
Yep.
yeast imbalance. And then you've got your digestive issues. Maybe the dog went for a walk and he ate a chicken bone or something that upset his stomach or just something like that. Then you've got your products. And then you've got your joint support, which is a common problem. And then you've got our different organ supports where you've got urinary defense, milk thistle for liver, sparkling eyes for the eyes and the tear ducts and that. And then you've got pancreas support. And then we got our dandelion root, which is again also for liver, but it also can help with the gallbladder and kidney.
Yeah, I was just wondering how those how they would fit in. You know how um people that have dogs with uh, you know certain they come in saying they've been diagnosed with liver issues, so we want them on the milk thistle. But what about like pancreatitis? I was thinking of, or and that would work with the pancreas support. That would
That's
be
correct.
okay. And if they're
Yeah.
on medication, is that still okay to add
It
this?
it's still okay to add this.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because that's a lot of questions, a lot because they go to the vet and they get that medication for different things that they might have, and then it's like, well, I better not do anything because the I better talk to the vet first. And I my usual response is, when you're dealing with high quality supplements, they don't have any interference. And most time, if you do them half an hour apart from medication and that, you're
Yes.
okay. But yeah, okay. So that's
And a lot of them are preventative too. So, like
mm,
urinary defense, if your cat, for an example, is
yeah,
common in getting it all the time, and as we know, male cats are even more prone to get stones and
yeah,
to have crystals and that.
mm,
And it can also be preventative that you can be taking these and it can actually prevent it so that the crystals and that don't build up. So that's why it's called urinary defense. So
mm,
some of these are prevented. It's just like joint health. It's
yeah.
like myself, I've got a dog, very active. She's 45 pounds. She's now 8 and going to be soon 9. So I want to prevent her ligaments and tendons and that
Mm.
from having any type of an issue. So I feed green lip mussel, for an example,
Oh yeah.
to my dog on her food every morning for preventative.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so you do do you find the green lipid muscle works really well for joint or that? Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Kind of thinking of, yeah, my brain was just going in different directions. I was thinking, I need Tundra on something that as he's not exhibiting anything, but he is 10, so he should be on
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
So
okay.
it's again, if you want to prevent from the
Right.
problem to happen, then you can use this, and this will help strengthen. For an example, green lip muscle is known to strengthen the ligaments, the tendons, and the
Okay.
cartilage between the joints.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, so maybe he would be as for I was thinking joint health, but then I think, well, he's not actually exhibiting any issues, so maybe I don't need to go at it from that perspective. But the I could definitely either one, I suppose I could try and see what works best and see how he's doing, right?
Yes.
Why not,
Yeah. we get a lot of great results with the green lip muscle. Shield
Yeah.
mobility is one of our biggest seller in our joint, along with the green lip muscle. And the shield mobility is really targeting because it's got a lot of glucosamine,
Mm,
chondroitin, MSM, and then we've added, which a lot don't in theirs, is we add a little turmeric,
yeah.
and we do a little tiny bit of black pepper. And so how I use that is you've got when your dog or cat, or we'll just use dog more example, has an issue, you don't want them to just be sedentary. You want them still to move. The vet will want them to not jump around or run, but wants
Mhm.
them still to move as they heal. So the turmeric and the black pepper is like a natural Tylenol that it relieves the pain, gives them enough comfort so that they can get up and do those slow little 5-minute walks and that to help build the ligaments and tendons up as they're healing from recovering from their joint issue.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
you know, I mean, humans take turmeric for arthritis all the time, right?
that's correct. I'm one of them.
There you would have it, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, there's absolutely amazing. And you know, I'm a huge fan of the dandelion root. I started on dandelion last spring, so almost a year, when we had dandelions all over. And I found this little video of this guy in Ireland who showed how to make tea out of the dandelions you pick from your lawn, as long as it's no pesticides and you haven't put anything on it or anything like that. So I did that, and I think I had, shared this with someone I had interviewed earlier because the dandelion, the it all kinda came together because Tundra had a very swollen paw, was very swollen, and he has, dormant blastomycosis, and it was in his paw, and we wondered if that had come back up, but, the vet said no, and, he tried all kinds of things to figure out what the heck was going on, and he was one day we were day before he was supposed to go in for an $800 punch biopsy
Wow.
on the paw. And something just in my mind, I just said, you know what? I'm not feeling right about this. So I said to my husband, I said, you know what? I just, my gut is telling me not to do this. And so I said, you know, I'm going to call them. And I said, listen, can I put this on the back burner? I just need to take a little bit of thought on this. So I started doing a bit of research. And one of the things was that dandelion I could deal with anything degenerative as well. And the vet had thrown out the cancer word. So I thought, I'm going to give this a try. Well, it was only about, I don't know, not even quite 2 weeks, and his paw was back to normal. I
Yes.
figured out what happened. So he had a hot spot in the paw, right in the pads, which I didn't know he had. And they gave me a spray for it. And he would hit the roof when I tried using this spray. And then I realized what had happened. He'd had an allergic reaction to that spray. And that's why
Uh,
his paw swole up. And the dandelion was working on the allergy response. And
okay.
it dealt with it, and he was right back in the, like, almost just under 2 weeks, paw totally normal,
Wow.
and I
And
knew it.
and it's funny you mentioned one thing
Mhm,
about making a tea like it's a tea
mhm,
because these are all herbs. So
yeah,
again, in a lot of our formulas, some of our top sellers, which is Nature's Shield and Olive Leaf, they're
mhm,
bitter. They're bitter. So
uh-huh,
we can have issues where people say, "My dog or cat won't eat this."
yeah,
So we have multiple ways that we show on our social media and on our website of taking that product, and you can actually put it in yogurt,
mm,
coconut oil,
mhm,
applesauce, make a broth. And then you just mentioned tea, and that's where Dr. K says to me is that over in her country, that's what they do with a lot of the herbs. They
mhm,
steep them into a tea, let them cool, and
yep,
then they drink them, or they'll apply it to a sore, or they'll
mhm,
put it on their pet's food.
yep,
And you're still getting 70% of the potency, even though you've made it into a tea. So that can be another way for palatability. And then on top of that, if you're a raw feeder, or anything like
Mm,
that, then that makes it even easier because you can just put the powder and or if you made the tea,
sure.
pour it right on and just mix it around, and then that's usually enough to hide it. Yes.
That's such a great yeah, exactly, and, so we still do it, I still do it as a tea right now, he gets it every day, but knowing that we can do any of these formulas into, a tea, so we can how would I make this into a tea from the powder? Like, say I wanna use the Shield Mobility, what would I do?
So shield mobility, you're gonna have to have like a little tea
Like a
what
tea
temperature.
ball thing, like,
Yeah,
that you
like
put
a
the
little
leaves
ball,
in?
and
Yeah,
and you would just put the amount
mhm,
that you would normally be putting on the food, and then you would just steep it. And
okay,
then once you steep it for that, then let it cool, and then you can pour it. So it's almost like making a broth. So you're making
sure.
your own broth. You can actually buy broth and put a little broth and then take the tea, mix it all in, and then now they just lick it up and drink it, and it's still gonna be just almost as potent.
Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
because I
Yes.
think that's one of the things too, because you're right. What do you do when you put it in their food and they go, no, they will no, he won't eat it. Knows there's something in there, he won't eat it. We need
Yeah.
alternatives, right?
That's
Yeah.
right, and see, and that's the one thing that some people will say, "Well, how come you don't just make treats and don't have why do you just
Mm,
have pure powders?" And see, we do the pure powders because then they're more potent.
sure.
You need very little to put on the food to get the results,
Hmm.
where when you're putting them into treats, a lot of consumers now and customers, they don't want all those other additives and all that other ingredient to make it palatable because
Hmm.
then you're turning around, like you said, you have a large dog, and then next thing you know, you're giving 5, 6, 7 treats to get the same potency out of a little quarter scoop, and you're getting calories on
Yes,
top of that, where ours, you're not getting the calories.
right. And there's a probiotic on the market that specifically has as one of their ingredients animal digest. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. That's just it's a very high in sugar. Um,
Yes.
it's put in there for palatability, but oh my,
Yes.
very, the sourcing of that and what it actually, it's not actually, I know people listening probably think, what? No, it's not actually stomach digestion stuff, but it's hydrolyzed proteins and stuff, but it's definitely got a lot of sugar in it, and there's no really a reason for that. But I wouldn't, and that's why, because just what you said, putting
Yes.
in flavorings and things like that, Yeah, no, that's not what we want, right? No.
Yeah, I'd rather hide it in the yogurt, like, where you can get a
Mhm.
nice healthy yogurt just like we would eat, and
Yeah,
you just
just
put it
Greek
in there and
yogurt.
mix it, and then my dog just licks it right off, and then there's other benefits of the yogurt for their digestive system also, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even a bit of goat's milk or something like that, because they
yes.
tend to like that, and you could dissolve it into that very easily. So, yeah, for sure. Is there any problem with any of the formulas for cats at all?
So no, they're all
No?
dog and
Okay.
cat, but to give you an example, when
Mhm.
you're making a formula and we had some formulas going, and then now you're going through the approval stage for both dog and cat.
Mhm.
Gin ginger is one to a great ingredient, right? But as soon as you put ginger in a product, then you can't do it for cat. So ginger and cat, they don't that herb and that don't go together. Great for dog, but not good for cat. So I had to reformulate to
Mm,
not have the ginger in and say sub in marshmallow root.
okay.
So there is other herbs that have similar to ginger that then I could go back and make it for both cat and dog.
And is that because cats have, some kind of a reaction to ginger?
Yeah. Yes, reaction, and their system doesn't digest it like
Mm.
the dogs do.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you just, so that is not a problem then. All of these formulas that you've got are totally fine for cats.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And then same thing, hiding it for them maybe in their wet food, but you never know with cats. Sometimes they can tell you put something in there.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, my cat, I have to she's very finicky. So for me, what I have to do is we always say a simple one dose in the morning and then you don't have to worry about it. But
Mhm.
even for her, she's so sensitive. I have to cut the dose in half and
Yeah.
do half in the morning and half at night to hide it enough. Or you're right, she'll go, look at
Um,
me and turn around and walk away.
I know. I was trying to put some liquid, kidney in, a kidney product, in liquid form, into the cat's, wet food, and he was not having it. No way, and I kept on making it smaller and smaller and smaller to see if he would, not recognize it, but it's, sometimes they're tough, and, if it's
Yes.
that important, then I'll make it into a tea and syringe it in your mouth.
That's right. You can. Yes.
Right? Because if it's really that important, we'll find a way to get it in there, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I just love these products. They're so interesting and you've got such a good array of stuff to choose from. And I really like the way this is broken down for people, like you said, to make it blends, for your everyday, your predictable events and your common problems. This is a great way to deal with it to make it very friendly for customers.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and our biggest satisfaction that we get is those phone calls of I we had one just a month ago that even myself, I almost teared on the phone with the guys.
Mhm.
He's tearing with me. They were basically told the cat, it was done. You got a week or two. It's on a steroid and that's it. And he said, you know what? Went on our website. He Googled and that's how he found us and he did two of our herbs, and
Mhm.
he was using them on his cat. And within about 5 or 6 days, he's talking to me on the phone. He goes, "The cat's on the counter right now," jumped up and is rubbing against me, purring all around. And he just turned to me and he said, "You saved my cat."
Mhm.
And I never think of me as in I did it. Me, it's my whole satisfaction. Is that what I like to hear? That when someone is told that, there's no hope, and then we
Yeah.
have all these beautiful herbs that we've got all around us that can help to solve these problems.
I know, and this is just it. There's so many things that we can use, and what you've done is they're so accessible. That's the best part because it's there. I'm not saying we shouldn't. We know we need our medical side of stuff. We know that, but
Yes.
there are things when someone's just saying, "Oh, every year." I did do talked about this before where I'm like, if I hear one more person telling me that their dog is on Apoquel, I'm like, oh my God. And that's so expensive. And how
Mhm.
many times do these people that have these dogs on this, they say, well, it really doesn't do anything. He's been on it for a year. A year? Are
Yes.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I said, well, what's going on? Is this all year round that this dog has allergies? Or is it, starts at a certain time and then he's fine through the winter? Let's find out if it's environmental or is it something that's going on maybe in food wise or something like that. Let's find that out. And once we can
Yes.
figure that out, I can tell you, let's look in this direction. Let's see if we can figure out if we can deal with the cause. Get this dog off of the Apoquel. And then
Yeah,
you know what?
and you just nailed it. You asked a lot of questions,
Mm,
and in this category of our supplements, and that is what's key. And so one thing again we've done as a company that a lot of others don't have is you can email and talk to us that way, but
mhm.
we also have a live chat. So
Yeah.
you can ask us questions because we'll get people that'll say, "Hey, I'm on olive leaf, I'm on bee pollen, and I'm on this. Is that okay to be in all three?" And my answer will be, yeah, you can be in all three, but what are you trying to solve? And
Exactly.
so what happens is then it turns around to be, then I ask them multiple questions and it'll come back down to, you know what? I think it's a yeast imbalance.
Mhm.
So the bee pollen and everything else, the problem might get fixed, but you're not going to know because you're on three different supplements. You're
Yeah.
not going to know what really fixed it. So I would tell them, because again, yeah, I love, I need to make money, but
Yeah.
I don't want them to waste their money on 3. I'd
Yeah.
rather them be on 1 and it works, and sure enough, you get them on the 1, then they call you back and say, "Thank you
Yeah.
very much. It was a yeast imbalance and it solved the
Mhm.
problem." So, it's a lot of questions need to be asked
Yep.
in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, and that's true. You have to have and I think and you're right. You'll go into places that have natural supplements, and a lot of times the people working, they don't actually really have enough background to be able to, drill down, find out what's going on, ask the questions. So yeah, we are also responsible for doing our own research for our animals as well.
Yes.
So like people who are definitely finding you and then giving you a call or going on the live chat, that's perfect. That's what we want,
Yeah.
you know?
And we are a bricks and mortar as a company. We really like supporting pet stores across Canada, and we've got a few locations in the US that sell it.
Mhm.
But we have online on our website, but we only have it there for the person that just wants to place the order, and that's all they're gonna do, and it comes. But we're in a lot of locations in most of your cities and towns, even small towns. We
Mhm.
have a store indicator there that shows you where you can go and you can purchase the products. Because and again, in those stores, when if they don't have the answer, what they like about us is that they can turn to their customer or themselves. They'll say, you know what? I can call. And again, we're a small company. They'll say, I'm going to call Paul and I bet you I'll get the answer. And I sometimes get phone calls while I'm sitting at my desk. The customer's in front of the cash and the owner has got me on the phone. This is the problem. Do you think this will resolve it? I go, yes, boom, and they make the sale. So we're always available.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, Paul, we have talked a lot about what's involved with your products and with Blends for Life, which is amazing. So many things going on. It's just fantastic. Is there anything else that you would like to share with regards to your supplements and what's going on?
Yeah, we have launched a new omega-3. We used to have a fish-based one, and we are now launching the Ai flower seed compress oil.
Hmm.
It is they call it a super plant power, and it is has one of the highest levels of omega 3s and 6 in it. And it's been in the UK
Oh,
for 10 years and has
really?
a lot of research and science behind it. And Canada has the same climate conditions in the East Coast, so it is now being grown in PEI. There's about 85 farmers growing it.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and it has about 5 years of studying in Canada, and Health Canada just completed a 2-year study and approved the product itself.
Hmm.
So what's really nice about it is it's when, we think about the environment and we wanna still provide some nice omega-3, 6 to our dogs and cats, this is a product that it's a flower and it's grown on a farm and it's regeneratively grown, and it actually supports, soil health, and an amazing thing is it actually really helps our pollinators like bees and butterflies.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
now instead of fishing out our oceans, and we're getting into situations where global climate, the oceans are getting warmer, fish are going further north, and we're fishing them out. Now we've got a product that's finally a plant based that can compare almost head to head with fish oil, and it's not affecting our environment. It actually helps it. And
mhm.
again, it's a Canadian product and grown in Canada. And the other nice thing is a lot of people don't like the fishy smell or the fishy burps that
Oh,
fish oil can cause. And this one is more almost like an almond kind of taste,
oh,
and it
nice.
doesn't have that smell. So it's a lot more pleasant to use.
Mm.
Yeah.
When's that coming out?
So it's already
Oh,
out.
it's out. Okay.
It's hit the market, but it's been a lot of work, and I'm glad we're able to talk about it
Mhm.
because it's educating people on the plant-based products, because most plant-based like flaxseed, chamomile, on those other types of oils, they can't compare to fish oil in the EPA and DHA and how the body absorbs them. where this Ahi flower has one of the highest levels of SDA than in the plant kingdom. So this tells the body to absorb the EPA and DHA. So in the sense that you may have lower numbers than a good quality fish oil, but you're getting 100% absorption into the body. So you actually use far less than you do in a fish oil. So to give you an example,
Mhm.
in a 60-pound dog, you're going to be 2 to 3 tablespoons of a fish oil where you're only going to be 3/4 of a teaspoon of our product. So that's the
Wow.
difference. Yes,
That's gonna go a long way. That's
correct.
great. Plus also yeah, and sometimes when you put all that fish oil in their food, they're sometimes a little bit reluctant to eat, depending
Correct.
on the dog. But I like when you said about the EPA and the DHA because that's gonna work really well with people who are raw feeders, but for puppies,
Yes,
right? Because we need
right.
that EPA and DHA for puppies, and in a plant base for that, for puppy, even better. So
That's great.
great.
And the other thing is it's also contains a lot of GLAs, which
Mhm,
are really good for inflammation, and it's part of the omega-6 family, and
mhm.
it's really good for skin and coat in that too, and joints, and that's not found in fish oils.
Even oh, man, that's amazing. So, does it come in a bottle? Or
Yeah,
yeah,
so it
okay.
comes in a bottle, and that's the other surprising thing is that it's a 235 ml bottle, so you put it beside a lot of the salmon oils and that are like a 5 or 600 because that type of a bottle for an 80-pound dog will only last a month, and
Right.
our bottle for a 60-pound dog is gonna last you almost 2 to 2.5 months.
That's amazing. That's gonna be
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
How's the sales going on that new product right now? Is it picking up?
Really picking up
Good.
fast as we do more educating and shows
Mhm.
things talks like this and
Yeah.
at different shows and able to communicate it and get the knowledge out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. Fantastic. So I think we have covered a lot. There is so many things that you have got going with your supplements and fantastic on this last one with the ahi flower. Um, what would what's the best way? I know we talked about people needing help or getting information, but what's the best way for them to contact someone or yourself if they're looking for some help or they want to, just learn about the product or order the product?
Okay, so they can go to
Hmm.
www.lensforlife.com, and that's an FOR, not a four. And then we also, if they want to email, there's info at blends4life.com. And when they go on the website, they can learn a lot there on the products. But then if they write down their questions, we have live chat on there where they can go and ask us questions, and they can sometimes get the answers right away, and or at the most they'll wait up to about 24 hours and then we respond back. Yeah.
Okay. If they were to phone uh, Blends for Life, would they be able to speak to someone or leave a message?
Yes.
Or yeah,
Yes,
okay.
they can. Yeah, and that's 519-8.
Perfect. We need that.
You need that. And guess what?
519.
And I'm going to just grab it because I never call it, but it's 519
Yep.
824
Mhm.
9496.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
that is in Guelph, Ontario, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, a lovely town of Guelph, Ontario. Lucky that you have the veterinarian college right in your town.
Yes.
That's even better. Well, I can thank you so much, Paul. This has been that you took this time to speak with me because I would just love what you've done, and I love your story and how you just had this vision and you made it happen. That's quite something. You really must feel very proud of your products.
Yeah, I do. And it's like you said, or we talked about during the talk here is my biggest satisfaction is when we do get an email or a phone call or anything else, even on live chat, that just how well the product worked for them and
Mm,
they were so happy. That gets me the best and the most too.
absolutely. That's just fantastic. And as we know, supplements for pets is a trending thing for 2025. So it's really
Yes.
important that there is a source of high quality supplements from a company with high efficacy and integrity like yours. And
Oh,
being
thank you.
Canadian is obviously the top notch part as well. So thank you so much again, Paul. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure we will be seeing and talking to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you, Val.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right. Take care for now. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Well, that was a great conversation with Paul. You can always tell when someone is passionate about their company and have the knowledge to really inform. Blends for Life has many formulas and they target many issues that pets have that no other company does. I can tell you, if your dog suffers from allergies, be it seasonal or food related, Blends for Life has the perfect supplement. And not just for allergies, there is so much more. And remember, if you have any questions, you can always reach out directly to Paul or live chat on Blends for Life website. Because as I say, knowing is caring. Thank you for listening to Val Talks Pets. Please remember to follow or subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. To really help the show and to make it easier for others to find, please rate and review each episode that you find interesting and helpful. And don't forget that you can also email me at val@valtalkspets.com with topics you would like me to address or with any questions you may have. Also, check out my website at valtalkspets.com and let me know what you think and how we can improve upon it. Thanks for caring.